Okay, we are recording. Welcome to our second Soaring Strong Nation team call of the month. I'm going to start us out with some special announcements. First of all, there is a slew of us that this weekend are headed to a Success Club cruise, and I cannot wait. I really cannot tell you how much fun these trips are. I am as giddy as all get out because I cannot wait to be on a boat with all of these people, rubbing shoulders with Autumn Calabrese, Carl Deichler. Like, it's just an incredible experience. I can't, yeah, Sarah, I'm on vacation mode too. I totally get it. Like, all I can think about is packing. Like, that's it. I'm like, I need to be doing this, but I'm going to pack instead or try on this or do this. So congratulations to everyone that is going with us this weekend. And I also know that some of us have already gotten our invitations for next year's Success Club cruise. So if you've already gotten an invitation for that, congratulations to you, because we've been there before and it is a lot of fun with Beachbody. You're going to have a blast. I cannot wait. I'm already excited about next year. I can't wait for next year. A few important announcements that we have. Just a reminder, April 1st, Monday, April 1st, is when Ultimate Portion Fix, the 21-day fix live streaming begins. So just to have that on your calendar, if you don't already, that's when that starts. Our Dream Team, I wrote down Dream Team. Our Soaring Strong team calls for next month are April the 8th and April the 22nd. April the 22nd, we are having a guest speaker come on and speak to us, and it is Rachel Baldwin. I don't know if you know who she is, but I follow her, and I am obsessed with and I love her. She is an elite coach. She is a total badass. I'm saying that quiet in case there's kids in the background. She is awesome. So I cannot wait. April 22nd, you do not want to miss that team call because she's going to be on speaking to us. We have Super Saturday on the 13th. There is a special event with Carl after Super Saturday, like with Carl, like just with him, like small group hanging out with Carl. I don't know if you've ever been in a room with Carl before, but it's a pretty awesome thing. And if you bring it down to a smaller group, you're just going to have to be there because I cannot put into words how awesome it is going to be. But you have to wake up a Diamond Coach on April 11th. So write that down, circle it a million times. You need to wake up a Diamond Coach on April 11th so that you can be at that event after Super Saturday with Carl Deichler. So those are the important announcements that I have. We are going to be listening to some of the coaches on our team speak tonight, and I cannot wait to hear them. These coaches have been rocking these specific topics, and that's why I asked them to speak on them. Some of them, it's their first time ever talking on a team call, so I'm super proud of them for that because I remember how hard it was just to unmute myself and say yes on a team call. I totally remember how hard that is. So good job. Congratulations. They are all three of them are stepping out of their comfort zones, and I'm very proud of them. And I know this is going to be a confidence boost for them too. So we are going to start off with Amber Etheridge. So Amber, you can go ahead and take it away.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Maybe? Okay. All right. So Megan wants me to talk about consistency in both my fitness journey and my coaching business. So I'm going to start with my fitness journey, and then I'll go into the coaching after. So when I started almost 4 years ago, I was super busy. I had just had Sadie. So we had a 2.5-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a newborn. But I knew that I needed to start that journey to get through that rest of that year because it was going to be crazy. In the first 2 months, I lost 17 pounds. My husband lost 30 pounds, and I was 6 pounds away from my goal weight that, because of my inconsistency back then, I never met and never got to that goal weight. I still haven't got there, but the fluctuating up and down with my weight for the past 4 years was because I wasn't doing what I needed to do. I wasn't being the proof of the product. I wasn't building trust with people. And more recently, with my husband working third shift a couple years ago, I would be the one having to get up with the kids, and I would be tired in the morning, and I would put my workout off all day and do everything else but my workout. And there would be weeks where I didn't work out more than I did work out, and my results showed it. And I still, it affected my business. But around the 80-day obsession, when it launched, was when I joined the 6 a.m. club with our little message thread. And with that being introduced, at the same time, my husband got a new job where he had to be at work at 6 a.m. It all kind of came together to where it worked out a lot better. So now with the 6 a.m. club, I have people that I know are waiting for me and will message me if I'm not there. So I have to be there. And with being in the 6 a.m. club, I've made it through 80-day obsession, lift 4, transform 20, and showed the consistency with my everyday workout pictures and results, and built trust with people that if they want to start this journey, hopefully they come to me and start it with me. And just a little side note, I have my newest coach. She has been very good about sharing her workouts each day and tagging me in them. And the other day, she had this lady comment on her post saying how she was telling her good luck or good job, and that she was doing so good, and that she's been watching my journey and wants to watch Annie's journey as well. But I didn't even know who this girl was. She doesn't comment on my stuff. She doesn't like my stuff, but she's watching. So you have to remember that if you don't show up, they're going to know. If you do show up, they know too. And then with the coaching journey, like I said, I started it at the same time I started my fitness journey, because I signed up like a week later to coach. And I was busy with the babies, husband in the Army, didn't really have time for coaching, like trying to get the house ready to move back home from Colorado. And like my fitness journey, I did really good in the first couple months because I did get Success Starter for Summit. And then we moved, and the business went on the back burner because I had mom guilt for putting the kids off on Chris, living with the in-laws, and trying to go work this business. And they had no internet, so it was really difficult. But anytime over the 4 years, when something in my life happened, whether it was moving or it was, 12 deaths in our family within, 6 months, or sick kids, all that kind of stuff, the business was the first thing to go on the back burner. I mean, I had to deal with that kind of stuff. But when Erica mentioned the hustle hours in Fit Fighter Nation, I thought I could join those because we have done, live power hours before, and I felt like I got a lot more done when we did those. But her timing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon just wasn't going to work for me, because with the power hour, getting it done, I would push it off as well until I got to the car router line thinking, I've got 40 minutes, I'll get stuff done there. And then I would scroll Facebook, I would look at Instagram stories. Being tired constantly from 3 kids, I would want to take a nap. All things that didn't help me with my business. So when Megan started doing the 8:30 live power hours, I just added that to my morning routine. I would work out, get James to school, come home and do the power hour, and by 9:30 I'm done. And if I want to look at Facebook or look at Instagram stories or take a nap in the car router line, I can do that because everything's done. So showing up daily with the power hour and using the bat, because I could set and know what I need to do and then just stare at the computer forever, not really doing what I needed to do. But following the bat has made a world of difference with getting stuff done. And also, I would just suggest to keep in touch with anybody you've ever invited, because hitting Success Club in January and February, 3 of those people were people I've talked to for a couple years. And I mean, you don't have to harass them and, ask them every day to join, but checking in on them and, you know, liking and loving and commenting definitely keeps you in their mind. So that's all I got.
Perfect. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, and the reason I asked Amber to speak was it was because she had went numerous months without a hitting success club. And then all of a sudden she like showed up and there she was on the leaderboard all the time. And I asked her, I said, what have you been doing? Like, what's the difference between now and then? And she said, I'm working a power hour every day and I'm using the bat and I'm tracking the people I talk to, which is the last thing she just shared with us. And I think that just shows the importance of making sure that power hour is just like an appointment. And that's what Amber does. It's an appointment for her. She shows up with us every single morning to work that power hour. And that time might not work for you. Erica's time might not work for you. Find a time that works for you and talk to someone, your Success Club partner, your upline coach, and say, this is the time I'm going to work every single day. And message me, make sure, you know, or I'm going to message you and say, I'm sitting down to work now. I'm going to work this power hour. And your bat, I can't tell you how long, I think I've talked to Lindsay about this, how long I went without using a bat because I just didn't think I needed to use a bat. Like I guess I thought I was too good for a bat. I have no idea why I wasn't using it. But man, to watch the difference in my business when I did start using a bat and did start tracking and checking off the things I was doing every single day. And then I don't really know, like she said, tracking. Those were people she had talked to for years. I don't know how you can keep up with people if you're not keeping them on some sort of a tracking system. And we can totally, if you have more questions about tracking systems, we can totally talk more about that in the team page. So I am now going to hand it over to Krista.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Good? Okay, cool. All right, so my name is Krista Contreras. I've been a Beachbody coach for just over a year now. And today I'm going to talk about being brave and overcoming fear when posting. It's so weird being on this side and everybody's quiet. So, but I get used to that, I guess. Okay, so I guess what I'll start with is, so when I got started, this was never anything I thought I would ever do. I was totally like an anti-pyramid scheme person. The idea of like an online group workout with a bunch of ladies didn't really sound that fun to me. I wanted to go to the gym. I, played sports all my life. I spent a lot of time in the gym, and that's what I wanted to do. I like to run, and that's what I wanted to do. But I did all that, and it didn't work for me. And so I guess when I got started posting, when I started my coaching business, I tried to think back to what made me sign up. Like, how did Lindsay Roart, is my coach, get me, to buy into this thing, because it's so against, a lot of what I would expect of myself in terms of something I get involved in for face value. I always loved Beachbody. I would have done Beachbody, but I would have been more likely to do it on my own, like find my own, workouts, not necessarily get in with the shake, and definitely not get in on the business end of things. So when I started, I thought, like, what has Lindsay shared? How did she get me to this point? And yes. Lindsay said, let's be real, I was annoying you. Yeah, a little bit. But I still kept reading your posts. And that's what I kept coming back to. Like, even though this is annoying me, why am I still reading these posts? And it was a lot of the stuff that, like, not everything, but the postpartum depression stuff, the stuff that was probably incredibly hard for her to talk about, but it really hit home with me where I was at in my journey at that point in time. And to see her, like, just talking about it openly and, using fitness as a way to overcome stuff that I was dealing with, and using this program. And obviously her transformations were super impressive. So everybody loves transformations, right? Like, we got to share those all the time. But so I thought about that, like, and I knew that going into it. And I remember my first conversation with Lindsay was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to share this stuff on my Facebook page. Like, I have a lot of family and friends and they don't want to see this stuff and da 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 da. But little by little, I started sharing, more and more. And every time so here's a few tips. This is what got me to start sharing. When I would go for a run or do a really hard workout, and I'd have kind of this energy high, the runner's high or this workout high, I would just be like thinking of something and be like, let's just write it down right now and then hit send and don't even like think about it. Cause back in the day when I started, you posted 3 times a day. So there was always a chance to like post something. So I would just, when I would feel it, I would write it down and hit send. And then those ones that I'd be like, holy shit, did I just send that? Did I just put that out to the world of Facebook? Right. And then those were the ones where I was like legit considering deleting it, that all of a sudden I would get incredible like responses from. I would have people, private message me saying, thank you for sharing this. It really hit home with me. And so that started to kind of build some confidence. Now kind of on the strategy end, I can't just fire off posts whenever I feel them because, it's not best for Facebook algorithms. So now I keep, a future post list in my notes on my phone. So when I have those moments, I wrote some things down, like first thing in the morning, that's when like clarity. I have 2 young kids as well, a 4-year-old and a crazy 22-month-old. And so by the end of the day, when my hot time to post is usually around 6 or 7, that's when I get the best response. But by 6 or 7, I can't write shit. Like my mind is gone. I can't think of a damn thing to write. So I have to, in first thing in the morning when I wake up and I'm refreshed and I read my 50 ways to yay and I'm doing my goals and I'm feeling all great. And that's when I'll usually try to like write something, inspiring or about my life that I'm just thinking about at that point in time. Other things, for whatever reason, I haven't ran in a long time, but when I was doing Lift 4, I was running once a week too. And whenever I run, that's when like, you're alone with your thoughts. I would just turn off the music and start thinking about what do people want to know about? What would I want to know about? And then at the end of a run, like I would have like 100. I wish I could like somehow write notes while running, because there was usually like 5 amazing post ideas in my run. But by the time I was done, I could seriously only think of one of them. So, but then I would like sweaty it before I even like took my shoes off or anything. I would write it down because, you get those ideas and then they're kind of out. So, writing down ideas while you're kind of in the zone and having that high intensity moment and not like waiting to write it later has really worked well for me. So, whenever I'll be driving in my phone sometimes and like listening to personal development, that's another good one for me. Like when I'm listening to personal development, what hits home with me and why is that hitting home with me? And sometimes I have to like sit back, take a step back and think about it. And sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to write about until I just start writing like in my notepad. And then all of a sudden something will come up and be like, maybe this is happening to me because I was denied this as a child. And I'm like, holy shit, did that really just happen to me? And then it's like, it's not just trying to think all the time about what do people want to hear. I'm actually trying to help myself get better. And that just kind of comes out. Right. And then I'm like, okay, this was shocking for me. I'm sure this would be shocking for somebody else to learn that. This is how yes, writing posts can be so therapeutic. And that was when kind of where I was going to go next is that, so if you follow me, I do some stuff that, isn't easy to share all the time. And I don't always want to share it, but and my wife has even said to me a few times, like, I never knew that about you. How come I'm learning things about you on Facebook? But for me, it's kind of easier to like put it out there than it is to have that face-to-face conversation with somebody. Like you just kind of put it out there and kind of see how it lies. And I've never once regretted sharing something. So everything that's been really hard to share for me, I've never ever regretted sharing it. Um, and similar to what Amber was saying, there's people I'll share about drinking, or I'll share about coming out, or I'll share about, seeing a therapist. And then I'll get private messages from people that I had no idea were following me that will just say, I've been following your story. They don't want to comment, they don't want anyone to know they're following, but they'll private message me just to say like, that really hit home with me. Like, thank you for sharing that. So it's helpful for me in the business because, some months when you're not getting the response that you want in terms of getting people signed up for your challenge groups, and, you can start to fall into a rut. But even getting a message from somebody like that, when you share something, personal, can help you keep going and keep that momentum up. Because, you're not making money off of it, but you're helping people, even if they're not, signing up with your group. I'm not on a time check on myself. I was going to start a timer and I forgot. So somebody yell at me if I'm going too long. Okay. Let me just see what else I had written down. So how to know what to post. When I think about what to post, I just honestly think about what's troubling me at the time. When I look through Facebook, I think, okay, so there's certain things I think about a lot that encourage me on what to post. There's people that I see get divorced that I'm like, holy shit, they're divorced. Like, I thought they usually post all over Facebook about how awesome their relationship is and and now they're divorced. I'm like, that sucks. Like, here we are setting these false examples for people, and we're all comparing ourselves to each other and feeling shitty about ourselves because somebody else is doing XYZ. Like, why not show them that I'm shitty too? And my marriage is really hard too. Like, that's the stuff that people want to hear about. And so I try, sometimes I feel even like as a coach, there's almost a pressure we put on ourselves to make people think that we have it all together. But I get into those points and then I step back and, okay, I still don't have it all together. Let's remind the people what my struggles are. They're not going to not follow me because I don't have it all together. So like, sometimes I do get those feelings creep in that think somebody might not want me as their coach if they think I'm still struggling after a year of doing this. But that's not true. The more I post about being all happy, the less people care. The more I post about what I'm struggling with, the more people are, they're following you. Because that's what people are looking for. They're looking to connect with somebody with, their pain points. So, and what's cool is a while back, I did something because I wanted to name my business. So I asked my followers, what do you guys think of? And I gave some ideas of like what I might call my business, and everybody said like authentic, true you, like be yourself, like all these cool names for my business that had to do with like being you and being authentic and being raw and real. So then I was like, okay, I must be, and I don't know what people think. Like, I'm still always worried, like they're going to think I'm some big fakie over here, like, but that's not what people think. So it's easy to get into our own heads and kind of talk ourselves out of sharing things. But I think the final advice I give is that just try to be true to yourself. It's being brave, but it's being true to you. And that, I think, for me, was the whole purpose of this journey, was finding something that allowed me to be me and do it, as a business. So I try to stay true to that, and not sharing the ugly stuff isn't being true. You got to share it all. So, and you will, once you start doing it, if you're not yet, you'll find it very therapeutic, and it gets easier with every send. So I think that's That's all I had. I have like 3 pages of notes scattered, so I'm like, is there something important? But I think I'm good.
Before this call, Krista and Mimi were like, we're going to wing it. And I'm like, no, we don't wing calls. You need to be prepared for this call. And Amber's like, I practiced, like, saying what I'm going to say. That is me, Amber. Thank you. I love it. So I asked Krista to speak because I did want, and Krista's like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 down from me in the downline. But I immediately, like when I thought I need to hear someone speak on being real and being authentic and being true and talking to our team about it, Krista was the first person that popped in my head. Like immediately, I was like, our team needs to hear Krista. We need to hear Krista. So Krista, I know you said you don't know what people think about you, but you do. You show your real, authentic side. And I definitely appreciate you speaking on that tonight. Thanks, girl. So we are now going to move to Mimi. So Mimi, you can take it over now.
Great. What am I talking about tonight? No, I'm teasing. I'm not winging it. I have notes too. Thank you guys so much for the chance to talk tonight.
I think you said that on purpose, just to like cause me panic before the call.
I love you and I tease when I love, so that's what that means. So no, I thank you guys all for the opportunity. I think that team calls are one of my absolute favorite things. It energizes me and gives me inspiration more than anything else in my day, for sure. So I'm really grateful to have a chance to talk with you guys tonight. I am talking about how I welcome and onboard my customers. And I thought, just as Amber did, I wanted to share kind of my story as a customer. What I call it, I spent a year of coachlessness. So I had been, a few months before I signed on to Beachbody, I had been invited to a friend's kind of week of clean eating. And I knew she was a Beachbody coach because she was posting all about it. And she was my roommate from college. She invited me to this week of clean eating. And I'm like, no. I eat clean. I'm good. I don't need to be in like a free Facebook group. I got this. And so I didn't do it. And then about 3 months later, it's January of like 2017. I'm sitting on my couch and I'm like, it's time to do something. I was like, well, Susan was doing this. And so literally I didn't reach out to her. I didn't reach out to anybody. I went onto the app on our Apple TV and signed in with my Apple ID and, got my subscription. And I, without really any guidance, I said, I'm going to do 21 Fix Extreme because I'm not a beginner. And so I started to do 21 Day Fix Extreme. And Autumn told me to buy Shakeology. So I bought my Shakeology, and of course, like, I'm just doing this. And like, I got assigned like a random coach. And this was back when Team Beachbody was that other weird format where it had the bars on the left and you could like do some goals and stuff. But you could try to search for a coach, but like I could never find anybody I knew. And I had a coach who didn't respond to me. She never reached out to me. So then I switched my coach to my friend Susan, but she wasn't active anymore. So anyways, so I spent a year not knowing what a challenge group was, not knowing that there was a discount. And I did 21 Day Fix Extreme over and over and over again. And I would start on Mondays. And by Thursday, I would kind of peter out, and then I'd go run, and then I'd come back. And I maybe lost like 10 or 15 pounds over the year, right? When you go all in on a program in a challenge group, and you can lose 15 pounds in like 2 or 3 months, right? I know that now. And so when I found Megan, and my first challenge group was 80 Day Obsession. And that experience changed everything for me. And so my goal when I have customers coming in is to really make sure that they know and understand the tools. How did I find Megan? So I was on, this is a funny story. So the summer of 2017, I had shingles, and I was like, sick and in like a ton of pain. And I was at work one day and not really doing anything at work. And I was on Facebook, and Autumn Calabrese went live, and she announced her Prepare to Be Obsessed challenge group, right? Her Facebook group that was going to lead up to 80-Day Obsession. So I was like, oh, this is what I need. I'm finally able to work out again. I'm going in. And so I spent, those 3 or 4 months, and we did 21 Day Fix, Chisel, 21 Day Fix Extreme, and then a little Obsessed. And then we went into 80-Day Obsession. And so right before 80-Day Obsession started, it was in like December. And there's so many women, in those groups of Autumn that are coaches, but there was just like her followers too. And it was the first experience I ever had. I just thought it was amazing. And I put out there one day, I'm like, I think I want to be a coach. And of course, your inbox, your Facebook Messenger inbox, like, fills up. I started to kind of look through people's profiles. I'm a small town Midwest to me. Little did I know what kind of team I was from that perspective. And it's been a really just tremendous year and a half since then. But so kind of going back to when I welcome my customers, I really kind of look back about what does someone need to know in order to beginning. And so there's a couple of different paths or not. And, I've tried to kind of systematize that and automate that in a little bit, but quite frankly, right now, the scale of my business really still lets me be very personally engaged with every single customer I have. Or I make the rest of it. Where are they coming from? What are their goals? What have they done in the past? What are their challenges? All those, and how far you've gone in the Ultimate Portion Fix certification. There is clarity. There's a clarity in action, great questions to think about using with new challengers and new clients. Really leading questions that help people think about their lifestyle and nutrition. And I think you could just swap nutrition for fitness in a lot of those to understand what people need. So tactically, I send a welcome email that's tailored to what they've purchased so that they know how to them to talk with me about selecting one, or if they're coming in like Transform 20, here's what we're doing, here's your schedule, come into the Facebook group. So once I get people in, I have found that I have 2 very distinct paths of customers, and most of them are absolutely fine in a Facebook kind of, I call it my Fit Fam, and it's just basically where everyone is kind of in there. And my husband is running a Lift 4 strand, and so he's got several people doing Lift 4 and going through that program. I transitioned my private Transform 20 group back into the Fit Fam. So I have a strand of people that are doing Transform 20. There are some people that are sleeping, but that's okay because they get to see everybody else doing it. And I post my schedules there. I post what I'm doing. They've known since January that in April I'm doing 21 Day Fix and 21 Day Fix Extreme. So they've known that forever, so they can jump in when they're ready. So it's just kind of a place to keep people engaged and ensure retention. I have a couple of people who are super, super private and for various reasons not on Facebook. And they started with me when I was using the challenge tracker. And so what I have done with them is I've actually kept them privately in the challenge tracker. And I struggled with that for a while because I didn't want to put content in there every day. I didn't want to have content in my Facebook page and like 3 or 4 private challenge trackers. And so really where I've gotten to with those clients, I've said, look, I'm probably not going to be giving you a post or content every single day, but if you want a place where you can track your measurements and your photos and your workouts and your shape, I will check in there every day, and they're okay with that. So that's where we've kind of landed. They're kind of doing programs on their own, gone from 80-day obsession on from that point. And so those are 2 of my tactics that I use. And then, really what I do in terms of best practice with those new customers, I check in weekly, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I just make sure that they're, that they've gotten their shipment. Here in Denver, we're in like this Beachbody like desert. It takes at least 7 business days for challenge packs to get here into our town. Don't know why. But basically what I do with my new customers is I track their shipments. And I know when they're delivered, and I will send them a message on the day it's delivered and say, hey, tracked it, know it came today, let me know what everything looks like when you open it. Now, I realize that as you grow your business, that's hard to do. So I'm at a smaller scale. But that's something that I really like to do right now because it always prompts a response. And if they haven't already done all the other things, they're like, oh, everything's here now. Got it. What do I do with the shake? I mean, you can go back to your email. You can just have that chance to kind of launch them back on. But really what I think is, ultimately all of those tactics aside, for me, the most important thing is really understanding how people are motivated, what makes them tick. And I think that that's just really, the personal touch and getting to ask them questions. The worksheet that, was in UPF is great. So I have a book that is super dry, but we use it at work. It's called Humble Inquiry. So for those of you who don't know me really well, I have 20 years of career experience as a fundraiser. So I raise money for a living for education organizations. So I've raised about $25 million over the course of my career. And I joke with Megan that, it's hard for me to sell a challenge pack, but I can ask you for $1 million. But anyways, the point of all of that is I love the psychology of what we do. And I think that, I can ask someone to invest in intangibles, to better society or to help people with education. I think that is just as hard to do. I think it's just as hard to ask somebody to invest in themselves. And really, it all comes down to understanding what makes people tick. What is going to get you off the dime to make a change? That could be for yourself, and that could be for an organization. And I really just think it's asking questions and not knowing the answer. Like legitimately, asking hard questions that make people think, right? Forcing them to be vulnerable, right? And it comes back to Krista's point that if you have set the tone that you are vulnerable and open and imperfect, that your customers will come to you the same way, and then you're able to help them even better. So I rambled a little bit, so I apologize, but that's all I got.
You didn't ramble at all. That was awesome. I could have listened to all 3 of you talk all night long on your topic. You all did an amazing job. Mimi, I would love to hear more from you, maybe not tonight, but even on the team page or something about that book, and just a little more about what you do ask people. Like, what are some of the hard questions that you ask people? I would just like to hear definitely some more about
Okay. That's awesome.
I really loved that you said was that you have those people that are still in the Challenge Tracker app, because that's what they like and that's what they enjoy, is just that check-in. Because I think we're so black and white, myself included. Like, that was a big thing I took notes and circled, because I know I have a few ladies that would prefer to be in the Challenge Tracker app. So why would I not just at least have it there for them to do if they want, but then also keep my virtual gym open?
Yeah, and I mean, I did it because it was really one of our closest friends. She lives 2 houses down, and I said to her, gosh, it would really be just great for you on Facebook. And she said, she's like, I have somebody from high school that I can't engage with. And she said, the minute I'm on Facebook, there she is. And I said, enough said. And that's really how I started that. I just basically said to her, like, I don't know that I can maintain, a consistency of like an 80-day challenge that you've experienced. I said, but if it gives you a place to be and to, be in an app, totally fine. Other people don't even download the app.
Yeah.
So you've just got the extreme.
Yeah.
The one question that I would give you all to think about in terms of kind of humble inquiry, one of the questions that I train my team when they're kind of starting out is there's a question that we ask that gets to the heart of it. And it is, what do you want to do with your money that is most meaningful to you? And I think that you can flip that and say, what do you want to accomplish that makes your life better? I think there's different ways to do that, but to really get to the heart of how do you want to feel when you wake up every day? And, it gets people really to that place of action and the direct investment that they have to make, whether that's their money, whether that is that their time, that uncomfortable moment when you are working out and you haven't done it in 2 years. It comes back to your why, right? It's getting laser focused on your why. But I think that, a question like that can really get to the heart of that for people.
Awesome. Thank you. And I did not mention earlier, Krista, I really loved what you said about putting it in your notes, like, hello and go. Why do I not do that more often? I can't tell you how many times I get off a Josh Coates call and I'm like, I'm going to post about that. And then the next day I'm like, crap, what did he say? I don't even remember. So that was a super good tip. Thank you, ladies, all of you. I have 2 pages of notes from the 3 of you. So I definitely appreciate all the knowledge that you have shared with our team. I will be recording, or I did record this call. It takes my computer out here in the middle of nowhere, like all night long to upload it for the next day. So tomorrow, hopefully I'll have this uploaded on the team page, and it definitely needs to be shared everywhere because it was amazing. So everybody have a good night. And just a reminder, April 8th is our next team call. So we'll see you guys then. Thanks, guys. Bye.